Welcome to the United States of Tiffany. Our commentary offers a humorous take on wrestling. Please note, we're not bullying or attacking the wrestlers. We're engaging with the choreographed sport and its storylines. Our jokes and observations are about the characters and storylines, not the real people behind them. Tourists and citizens alike, welcome. Enjoy the show, and remember, it's all in good fun.
Oh, how are you guys doing? I hope you had a good day. I hope you guys enjoyed Monday Night Raw. I'm going to try and run through this as quickly as possible, not to hold you guys any further, but there are some things that we need to talk about. Okay, first things first, let's talk about Obafemi. You see, Obafemi was scheduled to open the show today. However, Paul Heyman took it upon himself to bypass Obafemi and allow his favorite rat, Brock Lesnar, to have his moment in the sun. Now, to not paraphrase and to actually say what this man said on camera, he addressed the rumors or the situation of him returning to get revenge on Obafemi for losing so poorly at WrestleMania. He said, and I quote, "You beat my ass so bad at WrestleMania, I said, that's it, I'm done. But that doesn't sit well with me. It's not going to end that way, Obafemi. Brock Lesnar can take an ass woman, but can you? You're going to get your ass kicked by a humble, retired beast. I'm going to rule over Obafemi." Now, here's why I have a problem with this. You could have not done the whole retirement angle at WrestleMania and allowed Brock Lesnar to start attacking Obafemi every single week. And Oba could have been frantic, looking for him, angry, trying to find him. And at every waking moment, Brock Lesnar could have attacked Obafemi over and over and over again until Obafemi demanded a title shot against him at Clash in Italy. To me, that would have landed better than having this whole discourse of him being retired, and then out of the blue, weeks later, he shows up and attacks Obafemi and then cuts this stupid ass promo. Because if we're being honest, you got your ass beat so bad that you retired, and then you say, "Oh, well, that didn't sit well with me." Well, either it sat well with you or it didn't. You can't have it both ways, because you got your ass whooped and then you sat at home and you watched Obafemi doing his thing and you thought to yourself, like, nah, it don't need to end this way. You could have just walked your ass out of the arena at Vegas and then came back and said the same thing, and we could have still had the match. Do you understand what I'm saying? The way that it just lands like you don't know how to handle emotions in the moment. You are very much an emotional baby at this point, and that doesn't sit well with me. I don't like the way it was presented. I don't like what how it was done, and I wish it would have been done cleaner. I understand this element of surprise worked in the moment, but this promo undercut all of that, in my opinion. So I'm going to go venture out and say, no, I don't care. And do I think that Obafemi is going to lose at Clash in Italy? 1,000,000% I do. This is the only way to make them 1-1. And then they head into SummerSlam and that be the final bout. And that is where he will actually retire. At least that's what I think. Now, Obafemi had a response because he told Paul Heyman, as Paul Heyman was standing in the ring thinking he had a gotcha moment on Obafemi, but he forgot that Brock Lesnar wasn't there to save his arse. So Obafemi saw Paul Heyman and he basically told him straight up, he says, how do you think he says he doesn't know what I awoken in him, but what do you think he's awoken in me? Five or four or five F5s. What do you think he's awoken in Oba Femi? He said, it doesn't matter, Paul, because I'm not going to hurt you. I have no reason to attack you. In fact, I actually need you. I need you to deliver a message to your retired beast, as he calls himself. The last time that I was fighting him, I was fighting to beat him. But this time, I'm fighting to kill him. I always suggest murder because murder is finite. It's final. It's the end all of be alls, okay? But in this case, I think that is absolutely relevant. So go ahead, Oba, do what you have to do. It's legal. It's legal. So you're not gonna get in trouble. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. It's fine. We love that for you. We want you to do your best and to have the best. That's all we want. But anyways, blood in the streets. Leave it to Aaliyah to bring back one of my OG saints. It's gonna be blood in the streets, and we love that. That's what we pay money to see. Anyways, Brock Lesnar and Obafemi has been made official for Clash in Italy, which we'll get to that card in just a moment. Moving on, we had Penta facing off against Javon Evans tonight. He just faced off against Ethan Page a few nights back. And of course, Penta retained. Now, it was not from lack of trying on Javon Evans' side. Now, after the match was over, Penta gave him his props and full on respect, but Javon Evans was frustrated and he was angry. He snatched away and he walked out of the ring, but he met up with Penta in the back and he apologized and told him he was in his head and he was just upset. But he wants him to understand that the fight between him and Penta, if he still has it, and him going after that championship is not over, and that he needs to be looking out for him coming after that championship once again. And Penta told him that he would be waiting. The next thing that we got was Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio was talking to Penta, and there was a lot back and forth about how Rey could be the one to challenge Penta over in AAA for the championship, seeing as how AAA has now hired Rey Mysterio to be their general manager. So he will be their surface level authority figure, whereas Undertaker will be in the back, like on a Triple H scale, doing what's necessary to book the show properly, and Rey Mysterio will get all the glory. At least that's the way they always have it. Now, moving on, we also had the Tribal Chief facing off against none other than Jacob Fatu today. Now, this happened at the end of the show, and since we're talking about it, we might as well get into it. Jacob and Roman know the rules of their family, and they know it very well. Tribal combat has specific rules. Before the match, you can't touch each other. There's a blood oath there that you have to allow both of your opponents to be able to be 100% going into this match. So Jacob did honor that agreement, and they did not touch each other throughout this exchange, despite the fact that Adam Pearce took every precaution, at least the precaution that he believes is well worth it, in terms of having these security out there with the tables and the chairs. I don't understand why you brought the tables and chairs out there to begin with. I understand that this is tribal combat. There was a contract signing, blah, 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 but it just didn't make sense to me. It was unnecessary. However, Jacob and Roman had a back and forth. Now, Roman Reigns told him straight up, he was like, we had an arrangement, we had a deal, and you reneged on that. He said, if you ain't got nothing in this life, you only have your word. And I'm a man of my word. If you beat me in tribal combat, you will become the tribal chief. But when I win, I'm going to domesticate you. He says, I'm going to walk you like a dog. You will be my servant. And in time, you will learn to love your tribal chief. Blow out that candle when you go past. Get married, people. It's a happy time. Anyway, um, he always makes me forget what I'm talking about. I hate him for that. Anyways, Jacob responded, and Jacob's response essentially was to the effect of that he gave Roman his props. The acknowledgement that Roman wants is a verbal, I acknowledge you as my tribal chief. But if he listened, he would have listened to what Jacob said. What he said was fair. Jacob Fatu said that he elevated the family, that Roman has put the family in a position where they all can eat and they all are at the promised land. But if he's being 100% honest, there is only so far that Roman Reigns can take them. And it is time for someone new to be at the helm, somebody else who can take the family further. And he believes that person is him. Now, is Jacob entirely wrong? No, because you had the Wild Samoans. They were the ones who were elevating the family. Then you had Yokozuna who came in and took the family in a different direction. If you count The Rock put them up in a position where they were at the highest of peaks. And then you had his cousins, the Usos, come in and they took the tag team division to entirely new heights. And then you have Rikishi's in there somewhere. If you want to put him in there, fine. I don't, but this is where we're going. And then you have Roman, who took them to a place in this new era of wrestling where their family is back on top at the top of the mountain. And there are very few people who can say that they were capable of doing that. And now you have a new era of Anawi family members coming in from Solo to Jacob who can take this place to new heights. And if they play their cards right, Zilla Fatu will also come in and add to that element of how the family could be elevated and continue on the legacy of their family. Now, I am not saying Jacob is the one who has to do that, but he could be very well the guy who could. However, Jacob Fatu basically told him that if he wins, when he wins, that Roman Reigns is going to have to acknowledge him, which is true. And Roman has never been Roman's a lot of things, but a liar is not one of them. And he will acknowledge where it's necessary. Now, do I think Jacob Fatu is going to win? No, I do not. And the reason why is because Roman Reigns needs Jacob more than he needs anybody else in that family right now to be by his side. Why? Because he has two very massive, glaring problems that is coming up on the horizon. The Vision is going to go after the bloodline with the vengeance once they are done with Seth freaking Rollins. And of course, the Street Profits. And Obafemi will be waiting on the other side of that sunrise. And he is going to need somebody who can attest with those two men or the entity of the Vision and, of course, Obafemi before he drops that title to anyone. That is necessary. It is a necessary evil. He has to have some level of protection before he goes into battle with either of them. Not to mention, the Vision is not at full capacity right now. And I'll get to the Vision in a minute. The Vision is out, and Bronson Reed is just counting his days before he gets to come back. And if you haven't seen my little video I posted of Bronson Reed, let's just say that if Bronson Reed is in that level of shape when he comes back to WWE, there is a massive problem that Roman Reigns and the rest of the roster is going to have because he is insanely massive. We're talking huge, okay? Body wise, he is just off the charts large, and he has dropped a significant amount of weight in the waist, which makes him dangerously fast. And he already has the power and strength to compete against Roman, and he has beaten him before. This is a problem because he is also in the Vision. That makes him a massive problem for Roman Reigns as well. So they have a lot to worry about. Roman better domesticate that werewolf if he wants to survive being world heavyweight champion. Now, we're going to move on to the Vision. Well, we have to mention this because it happened. Look, we had to watch this match again. I didn't care for it. I still don't. I don't give a damn about Judgment Day. And I'm, as much as I love Lyra and Bailey, I need them to proceed forward in a totally new direction. I don't know how they're gonna do that, but they need to do something. Okay. Now, in my opinion, this match was unnecessary, but I get why it happened. However, the Judgment Day lost, which is rightfully so. There was so much interference in this fucking match. There was so much interference from fucking Liv Morgan to her dog Dominic Mysterio. It was just too much. And at this point, it's getting old. It's getting tired. It's getting to the point where you can damn near count down to when one of them is going to interfere. All four of them walking down to the ring together, unnecessary. All four of them being out in the ring, unnecessary. You have done this so many times. This song and dance is happening over and over and over again. And I just need y'all to move on and do something else. Please do something else. That's the part that gets me. Jacob gave him the definition of an acknowledgement, but Roman's not using those giant ears to hear him out. I think Roman heard him perfectly, but Roman is a creature of habit. He wants to hear you say the words, I acknowledge you, my tribal chief. He wants to hear it. If he doesn't hear it, none of that means anything to him. He heard what Jacob said and he respects it, but he's right and Jacob's wrong, and I'm big and you're small, and there's nothing you can do about it. Hello, how are you? So, in this match, the girls' Judgment Day ended up losing to Lyra and Bailey. Despite all of the interference, they ended up losing that match. And of course, you know, it just lost. I don't feel like talking about them anymore. I'm sick of it. Now, let's talk about the little things that we saw. Number one, we saw there was a little moment between Austin Theory and what's her face? Maxine. Now, this has been happening backstage behind the scenes for months, from what I understand, but I don't pay attention to Theory that much, so seeing that doesn't bother me. Now it seems like Maxine likes Theory and Theory likes her. He's been talking to her for quite some time. And at some point, if y'all was on the live last week with Nicole, myself, Don, and Rico, you would have heard Nicole's explanation as to what she believes is going to happen when it comes to the vision and Maxine being implemented in Paul Heyman's place for, or she'll just be a member, which I think she'll be a member because Paul Heyman ain't got nobody else right now to latch on to besides Braun Breaker. Now it seems at Saturday Night Main Event, Logan Paul tore his tricep and he also suffered from some other injury, like maybe a concussion of some kind. So Logan's gonna be out for months. To me, this is just the tail of the tape in terms of the curse that the vision has. That curse was started by Seth freaking Rollins, if we're being honest, and every single member of the vision has since been injured except for Austin Theory. Everybody else has gotten injured. Now, I don't know what's going on with Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker wasn't there, but he attacked everybody last after the show on hold on, because I didn't get to hear where Braun Breaker was. If he's injured, I don't see how he got fucking injured. He just wasn't there. He just wasn't there. So maybe he had the night off this week. I don't know. Somebody in the comments tell me if he injured or not, because I don't remember them saying he was, but I could be wrong. Hello. Hi, Isaiah. How are you? Okay. If I'm wrong, please correct me, but I don't remember anywhere where they said that Braun Breaker was also injured. The only person I remember them saying was injured was Logan Paul, and it just looks like Braun wasn't there for the night. This, whatever that was, this led to Paul Heyman using that as fuel to manipulate Austin Theory into just being a mindless extension of him and attacking anyone. Now, he came into that room to give Paul Heyman the tag team titles back. And basically, he was just like, I can't be tag team champion on my own. Logan's down. I'm by myself. And then, like, I kind of, it's kind of my fault. Da, 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 da. And Paul Heyman was like, what are you talking about? Like, I have it worked out to where any members of the Vision can be tag team champion. You do not have to have Logan as your tag team champion. Okay. So, whatever. And I was like, okay, cool. So you working under the Freebird rule. I'm like, why don't you just say that instead of giving yourself all the props in the world like you were the one who came up with the idea? No, babes, you're working under the Freebird rule. The Freebird rule allows you to be able to have any member with that title, which to me leads me to believe that Bronson Reed is coming back sooner rather than later. And he will be the one competing on Theory's side as the tag team champion since Logan Paul is going to be out, which I never wish for anyone to get injured. But God knows I can't stand Logan Paul. So him having to take a break for quite some time really warms my heart. The reasoning behind it sucks for him because, again, I would never wish that on anybody. But God knows I'm so glad I don't have to listen to his mouth for the next couple of months. That really makes me happy. Anyways, I have said this again. I'll say it again. I don't wish that kind of harm on anybody. But I just don't like the man. And he irritates my soul. And we're not just talking about wrestling. We're talking about in every capacity. Okay? Now, throughout the night, Austin Theory decided to take it upon himself to avenge all the members of the Vision that have been injured. He then goes to Adam Pearce as Adam Pearce is talking to him, and he's just like, was it fair how Dawkins injured Logan Paul? Which isn't necessarily true. Things happen in matches. Nobody bitched and moaned when you do what you do and people get injured. Relax, you're taking it too seriously. Did anybody get mad? Did anybody say anything when it was Braun Breaker? Braun Breaker's injury was all of his own. It had nothing to do with anybody who was competing. Did anybody get upset when it was Bronson Reed? Bronson Reed's injury was also a freak accident that happened during a match that nobody touched him in. He actually got injured performing a move himself that he didn't even get grabbed or pulled or fell on. So your logic is flawed, you idiot. And what really baffles me is Pierce just stood there and didn't say nothing. This is what I mean when I need realism in wrestling, because my response to you would be, if all you care about is getting revenge for fucking injuries that happen because of the job that we do, then maybe, I don't know, this ain't the job for you. Because I don't want no little bitches working for me. And if you buck, I will not. So don't try me. Don't think because I got this suit on that I won't whoop your ass and then fire you later. But if all you care about is listening to Paul Heyman so you can get revenge all the time, then by all means do that. But you are doing nothing but painting a target on your back, and you already have one with those championships. So if I was you, I would chill before you get a shitstorm of people coming after you, which he can't seem to do. Now, for whatever reason, he's infatuated with Maxine, and Maxine and him seem to have something going on. I guess she tired of being a loser with Otis and Akira Tozawa, so she's gonna leave them at some point, probably during some type of match. They probably gonna put Alpha Academy up against them at some point. Maxine gonna turn on them, hit Otis in the balls, and then kiss Theory in the middle of the ring, which I'm going to throw up. And then they're gonna have their little thing. Great, because they ain't got nothing going on in terms of storylines right now, and this is the best thing that y'all got. Now, real life, Maxine got a whole husband at home. The nigga that's over in NXT named Cam Hendricks, that's her husband. Now, Austin Theory also got a whole woman at home, okay? He got a woman, he living his best life. He seemed to be very much in love with her and posting that shit all over social media. So, unless y'all plan on elaborating on this, in terms of, how can I put it? Unless you plan on allowing people to use their imagination, it's got to be hella believable in that ring. Now, I guess you can akin that to you doing, a movie. You know what I'm saying, babe? Where you do movies and sometimes you have to have a love interest in the movie and it ain't your man and it ain't your woman. So sometimes that happens. So that's the way y'all gonna have to equate it and remove their actual spouses out of it. Y'all have to do it with Dom and Liv Morgan. You're definitely gonna have to do it with these two. Okay, great. We love that. Now I'm gonna hate on them both because I can. That's gonna be a fun time. But we're gonna see how she fits into the vision and how this can work out for her. I don't know, but everybody else seems to be very excited for it. But I'm very interested in how this is going to play out. Now, the last thing that happened over on Raw today was the Intercontinental situation. Ethan Page was upset because he felt like he deserved a rematch. I don't know where he got that idea from as to why he needed to have a rematch, seeing as how he lost. He lost for his own reconnaissance because he decided to try to cheat, take the turnbuckle covers off of two turnbuckles. And because he went into those turnbuckles, he then got upset and basically said that Penta cheated. My problem with that is it's the same thing I have with Becky. You hoes will lie, will scream and yell when it's your turn, but when you do it and it works out for you, you say that's just the way that the cookie crumbles. At this point, Ethan, you shit in your hand and clapped. That's your fault. Okay? Okay, you're not the champion. You never were. So you don't get a fucking rematch. That's not how this works. You either get your ass to the back of the line or you make it so that you're undeniable. That's it. That's all. Oh, we're just handing out titles. They handed you one. They handed you one because they could have very easily given that title shot to Rusev at Saturday Night Main Event instead of you. But they gave it to you, sir. So at this point, you complaining about not getting the title rematch is crazy. Nuts. The same thing I said about Nia Jax at Last Legend getting one. The fuck do you mean you get a rematch? No, you don't. No, you don't. They beat you. Come hook or crook, they beat you. Y'all win on the humbug all the time. Nobody complains. It's like, well, they won. What can you do? Like, come on, man. Now, Rey Mysterio and Adam Pearce were talking. Adam Pearce is back there congratulating Rey for becoming GM of AAA. And of course, everybody is happy except for a few. Now, as soon as Ethan Page saw them back there powwowing and he heard Intercontinental Championship, that nigga slid over there real quick like, fuck going on, because that's my title. You can't give him a title shot. I deserve a rematch. You handed one to Javon Evans, which, to be fair, Javon Evans deserved a title shot multiple times over before you and Rusev did. The fuck? Anyway, we were stuck in hell. Can you go get Tay out the damn bathroom? He been in there long enough, and I know he getting water all over the damn floor. Now, the conversation got ugly. I'm just gonna keep it short and sweet because Rusev walked over and also saw these three men talking and was like, "Okay, it's my turn." Da da da. Why y'all talking about this? No. Yeah. Did he wash? Anyways, so Rusev got upset and felt like he should have been the one that was going up against him, that he deserved a title shot. And Ethan manipulated the situation to make it look like they were circumventing Rusev and giving Rey Mysterio one. If they wanted to give Rey Mysterio a title shot, let the nigga have the shit. He finna retire anyway, Rusev. And if we being fair, your ass need to go sit down somewhere too. But what going on? Nigga, like, we don't want to hear that shit. We don't want to hear that. We tired. It's the same merry-go-round over and over and over again. Personally, I didn't need them to rehire Rusev. I didn't need that at all. You know what I'm saying? I'm straight. I'm straight, nigga. But we are stuck in hell right now. And I need them to pull themselves out of the dumps. Okay? It is all just monkey balls in here, and I'm gonna turn the fan on in a minute, okay? I promise. Any whoosies. So this led to a match, and Pierce was like, "You want to have a match with Rey Mysterio?" And Rey Mysterio was like, "You want to have a match with me? You want to fight with me?" Rey Mysterio was like, "Well, shit, let's fucking go, bitch. I ain't never scared." So they had that match. Rey Mysterio won. Rusev got mad and attacked Rey. Dragon Lee came down there to even the odds because Ethan came in the ring also because he was sitting ringside flapping his gums like he always do. And we were stuck in basically hell of them all fighting each other. Now they was able to get rid of Ethan and Rusev and fight it out. So I guess now that's gonna put Ethan on Dragon Lee, which will give Dragon Lee some time on TV, and they can have a little fight and fight it out. And now Rusev is gonna be, basically lurking around that title some more. Now it seems that Penta is gonna be defending that title in AAA somewhere. I think it might be at like Triple Mania or something like that. I don't think it's gonna happen like next week or at the end of the night, but at the end of this week, you're supposed to have El Grande Americano facing off against OG El Grande Americano. And this is supposed to be a mass versus mass match. Now, I thought they was gonna do this at Triple Mania, but they have decided to do it this weekend on Saturday right before Clash in Italy. So I promised y'all we would go over the match card for Clash in Italy and then we'll be done. Now, one thing I did forget was LA Knight coming out there and talking about the Usos and coming after Roman Reigns. That's another person that Roman also has to worry about, which I think he probably will deal with LA Knight first if LA Knight wins the King of the Ring tournament, and then it'll move into Braun Breaker and possibly end with Obafemi at WrestleMania. At least that's what I think the schedule is going to be. But it could be where they end with Braun Breaker at WrestleMania. But that's a whole new thing. Anyways, the King and Queen of the Ring tournaments begin next Monday. They're going to be in Turin, Italy still. And this show starts at 2 p.m. because they're going to be in Italy. This is what I'm telling you. The summer tour starts Friday. It starts Friday for SmackDown. All right. And they're going to be overseas then. Now, they're going to go in Turin, Italy on Sunday, and they're going to still be in Turin, Italy on Monday. And the King and Queen of the Ring tournament start on Monday. And LA Knight has declared himself to be in that tournament. He also called out the Usos about how they stood toe to toe against the Vision and won. And then as soon as they left, they decided to go back to being on the two pillars for Roman Reigns. And he then got Jimmy Uso. And Jimmy was just like, look, this is family business. It's not the same like it was, but he said, "You right. You have every reason to distrust what is going on." But he said, "I promise you, you won't have a problem until you have a fucking problem. So I suggest you back the fuck up off me, back up off my cousin, back up off my brother, because we ain't with that bullshit." And he was like, "Look, I like you. So I'm gonna tell you straight up because I'm a man and I care." But he said, "You the twin that I care for. I don't care about your brother because your brother's wild." And Roman Reigns, I ain't never gave a fuck about Roman Reigns because every time I turned around, he did everything in his power to make my life a living hell. So that man could go eat a dick. But let me tell you something, Jimmy. He said, if you want to align yourself with your cousin, that's your business. If you want to play second fiddle to that man, that is your business. But me, I'm not doing that. And if I know when I win the King of the Ring tournament, it is going to be my problem that you have a problem. So it's fine. It's fine. Because he said, I'm sorry, but bloodline business is going to be my business. And if it has to go down that way, then I see you on the other side. That's just where he left that shit. You know what I'm saying? He said, if my name going to be in your mouth, make sure you spell it right. What everybody is saying, LA Knight. And then he walked his ass up out of there. And Big Jim just standing there. Now, me personally, I think that somebody is going to get pushed out. And I think it's going to be Jimmy because Jimmy's not thinking undying loyalty like Roman, like Jay Uso is, and like Jacob will probably be. It is going to be Jimmy who's going to defect first. He was the first one to defect the last time. He's going to defect too. And this time, Jimmy is going to be the one that's going to get the rise. He's going to get the true bullet behind him because he deserves it and because he's earned it. But it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out for him because Roman can be a villain or he can be a face. It depends on who he goes up against and what the problem really is. So we're going to see. It seems like Clash in Italy is shaping up to be a decent card. But let's go over the card. They're going to be in Turin, Italy on May 31st, and it is going to be a Sunday. And it will go off at 2 p.m. Let me reiterate, the show will begin at 2 p.m. in the afternoon. Because Triple Mania is in September on Mexican Independence Day, the 11th and 12th. Got it. Okay, and they didn't want two Americans on the card. Fair enough. Anyways, going into Clash in Italy. Here we go. Gunther and Rhodes are going to be fighting it out. They are scheduled to be on Friday. Will Zilla Fatu make his Clash debut? Clash in Italy? I don't think so, honestly. I think the focus is going to be on Roman and Jacob. I don't think Zilla Batu is debuting anytime soon. And if I was Zilla, I would go to NXT first. And then be pulled up. Like maybe a year in NXT would do him some good. He needs to be polished before he just comes to the main roster. He's not like Jacob, who kind of had the idea of what to do. Zilla needs work. IDK, he's kind of living it up where he is. He'll be into WWE. He's made it clear he wants to come to WWE, but I just don't think that Zilla Fatu is coming to WWE right now. I just don't think that. And Uzies, let's move on. Cody and Gunther, we will do predictions on Wednesday, but Cody and Gunther are battling it out, and they will be in Italy on Sunday and Friday. They are going to be somewhere in the UK. I can't remember where they're going to be on the summer tour Friday. Hold on, let me see if I found the infographic. Because I believe I have the summer tour. Let me look. I do. Okay, so, oh, shit. May 28th, they have a live show in, let me take my thingy down. And take that down so I can see. They're going to be in Liverpool, UK, and then they're going to be in Barcelona, Spain, which is Axiom's hometown. So they're going to be in Spain on Friday, and then on Sunday they're going to go over to Turin, Italy. Then Monday they'll still be in Turin, Italy, and then they have 3 live shows in between there, literally back to back, and then they have Friday Night SmackDown in Belgium, Italy. It looks like they're going to be going to France, Portugal, Spain, and then make their way back to Italy again. And then they have several shows in for live shows, and in between there is a Raw. So they've got 2 live shows in Italy still. They're going to be in Italy a lot for the summer tour. And then they have 1 Raw show in France. 2 more live shows. Both of them are in the UK. One of them in Cardiff and the other in Birmingham. And then they have Raw in London, which will round out the summer tour overseas. And then they'll be over in the United States or in North America, and they will go over to what's it called? Canada, and that's when they will start the summer tour in the States, and they'll start in North America and they'll start in Canada. Let me see if I have the other half of that for the Canadian schedule. I thought that I did. I don't have it on my computer. That sucks. That sucks ass. But anyways, this is your summer tour and it seems to be pretty strong. So there you go. Anyways, we're moving on to the next match in Clash in Italy. We have Roman Reigns versus Jacob Fatu. This is tribal combat. Anything goes in tribal combat, and it is for the World Heavyweight Championship and the right to call yourself the tribal chief. All right. Then you have Rhea Ripley versus Jade Cargill for the WWE Women's Championship. And the newest match added to this card, which is Becky Lynch versus Sol Ruka for the Intercontinental Championship. Now, tonight, Becky Lynch came out there with her unblended makeup and decided that Sol Ruka wasn't ready for the big time because she wasn't there on Raw after a loss to her, which in hindsight is wild because Becky lost at Saturday Night Main Event due to her own actions. She pulled the referee in front of Sol Ruka when Sol was getting ready to hit her Soul Snatcher, and this caused a disqualification. She thought the disqualification was going to be on Sol, I guess, but the disqualification was on her, and Jessica Carr made sure that the call was on Becky. So Sol got the match win by default due to Becky's own stupidity in her own actions. Now, she didn't like that, so she beat the hell out of Sol and basically left holding the title up in the air. And then she cut this bullshit ass promo about how Sol Ruka's not ready and her name's always going to be etched in stone. And here's the thing. I'm going to tell you right now, I saw everything that Becky Lynch and Charlotte had to talk about this past weekend from Rivals, and it was a very interesting conversation. But I will say this, character-wise, Becky is a bitch. And as far as I'm concerned, anybody who beats her, she's going to take it as they're trying to replace her. She'll never understand that being beaten doesn't mean that you'll be erased from the history books. She doesn't get that new people are going to come in and they're going to surpass her. Let me reiterate. They are going to surpass you, babe. It's the nature of the beast. It is the law of the land. You cannot stay at the top of the mountain forever. Every predator has a predator of its own. And yeah, you can call yourself every name in the book, and Sports Illustrated can say it, and everybody else can say it. But at the end of the day, when you're sitting at home and it's time for you to put that belt up on the wall, all you can say is, I used to be the IC champion and I used to be Becky Two Belts, and the big time is no longer my time. And that's the way it's going to be. And they're going to be telling you to go take your old ass home and go take care of your baby. That's what they're going to be saying. And I've been saying that all night because it's true. It's coming. And when it does, I don't want anybody getting mad. I don't want anybody talking about ageism. I don't want to hear it because it's rightfully earned and deserved. And with that being said, we're moving on because that is all we have for the matches, with the exception of Brock Lesnar's match against Obafemi. Those are the 5 matches for Clash in Italy. I'll go over them one more time. Rhodes and Gunther, Roman and Jacob, Ripley and Cargill, and then you have Lynch and Ruka. Those are the matches, including Obafemi and Brock Lesnar's. And Brock Lesnar and Obafemi's match will be on the first hour of Clash in Italy, which will be available for free over on on ESPN. You can watch it, and it starts at 2 p.m. on Sunday. Okay. Just the thought of Theory and Maxine possibly kiss makes me want to go, well, you might as well get into it. Personally, it should have been her and Braun Breaker. To me, that makes more sense because I want to see the clash between Maxine and Paul Heyman. But give her the Theory if you want. Theory can't talk, so somebody has to be able to talk for him and do something for him, I guess. So whatever. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. That's all. I promise you, we will be back this week with Freestyle Wednesday, and we'll talk about all of this again on Freestyle Wednesday. We'll cover Clash in Italy and talk about the predictions for Clash in Italy, and we'll do all of that on Freestyle Wednesday. And everybody that wants to come in can come in All that I ask is that you be respectful. And if you don't mind, the girls and I did Down for the Count this week. It is up currently right now. If you missed it, you missed out on a really good show. You should go and go watch it. I hope you guys enjoy it because we were having a good time having a conversation about all of the shows that happened this week. We had Ashe 15, which was a resounding success. There was WWE Saturday Night Main Event, if you care. AEW's Double or Nothing was a very good show from what I hear. Excellent, excellent show. Everybody that I talked to loved it and enjoyed it so much. And of course, we talked about Becky Lynch and Charlotte's rivals over on A&E, which seems to be the talk of the town for a lot of people. Now, if you would do me another favor, because I love you guys, don't forget to follow my other podcasts over on Spotify. Stuff I want to talk about. There's stuff up there right now. We got plenty of Am I the Assholes and Reddit posts Fridays up there for you to listen to. They go out weekly, so you don't have to worry about missing anything. And of course, we do Pop Culture Wednesday over there. Pop Culture Wednesday isn't weekly. It's either once or twice a month, depending on what's in the news. But we got a couple things to talk about with Pop Culture Wednesday because there's a lot of shit happening coming down the pike, from the David case to Stephon Diggs and his drama. Tasha K still getting sued by Cardi B and having to pay out more money. Like, it is a lot going on, and I'm going to do my best to try to cover it and give you guys my commentary on it. And with that being said, don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. I know it's a lot. It's always a mess going on, but I promise you, I'm going to do my best to make it worthwhile. And we're going to get back to reading and chill this month. We're going to finish out some chapters with Rico's book. I'm going to try my best to do a quick recap for you guys, and we'll do something to kind of calm the spirit because, y'all, it's too much wrestling going on, and we don't be having fun all the time. And sometimes you need something different to do a little reset. We might finish reading Black as Fuck History first and then get to Rico's book. I think we're going to finish reading Black as Fuck History first because I really want to finish reading that. And I want to finish reading it with you guys. So we're going to do that. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Monday Night Raw recap. Okay. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. I can't stress that enough. It is necessary for the channel. Don't forget to do that. And I will see you guys next time. Okay. Everybody was good today. I had nobody popping into my channel being weird. I didn't have to get nobody no 5 minutes of fame today, because usually I will give y'all 5 minutes. But today we didn't have to do that. So yay. Yay on you guys for being good people today. But don't forget that next week, the King and Queen of the Ring tournaments will begin. All right? I'm excited. I want to see how it's going to go. I will see you guys on Wednesday when we talk about NXT and whatever else you guys want to talk about. Love you guys.
Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe for more wrestling content. Check out our merch and consider becoming a member for exclusive perks, special emojis, and members-only content.